I wake up today morning and I get to know that I will not get a visa. And this is just shattering for me. All my dreams, all my aspirations are shattered now. And I'm really, really confused, scared, and I don't know what to plan here.
He's 28 years old, an Indian citizen who wants to remain anonymous.
It's just very odd, we students have worked hard, we put in so much of effort and time into our applications, and then we have we just decide our careers like this. Just overnight you change a policy, you change a rule. This is just not acceptable. This is not how you can play with the lives and the careers of students. These are universities, they need to help us, they need to support us.
A dream built on hope, stopped by the stroke of a pen, and he's only one of 10,000s of students left in the lurch.
To analyze the whole situation, this is happening, this is a temporary phase, what we feel, and I've been speaking with US embassies and officials at universities and other partner universities, etc. And I feel this is a very temporary situation. It is basically because of administrative internal policies, and so the US Department of State is making certain adjustments for security and for efficiency.
A sweeping policy shift by Trump government has sent ripples through campuses and across oceans. The US has hit the brakes on scheduling new student visa interviews, citing new vetting procedures and national security concerns.
It is intriguing that US government is suspending them, because it will not be good, because the chances of better lifestyle and better colleges and better upholding will be get less for Indian students. Otherwise, yes, I am shocked, because if they are going to deport the students back to India, the chances are the college will get more students, and then where will other students go who have not applied for the colleges, or there will be less seats. There will be less seats, and students will be messed up and where to go and what to do. That's why I'm little upset about this.
The change is with immediate effect. It'll extend all FM and J categories of US visas that are used for academic, vocational, and exchange programs. No new slots are available, although previously booked visa interviews will not be affected. The directive came via a 26 May diplomatic cable sent by United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio, instructing US embassies and consulates around the world to suspend new student and exchange visitor appointments until further notice. Why? Because the US is preparing for expanded social media screening and vetting procedures. So what exactly are consular officials going to be looking for? Here's what we know. Under the new rules, foreign students will be asked to provide information about their digital lives going back to 2019. This includes activities on platforms such as X, formerly known Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and others. And it's not just selfies and hashtags which are under scrutiny. Students will be screened for their activity on social media. From their Instagram posts to their protest history, everything will be scrutinized. What do they write on social media? Did they take part in protests or demonstrations? Are there police records against them? Everything will be pulled from their digital history. A broad review of online behavior and affiliations is now part of the visa process. According to a State Department spokesperson, Tammy Bruce, whether you're a student or a tourist who needs a visa, or whoever you are, we're going to be looking at you.
So right now, there might be some delay, and what I'm told to encourage people to do is to regularly check to see when those spaces open. So as opposed to, let me just say, I would not be recommending that if this was going to be weeks or months.
Wait, there's more. The US Embassy in India has cautioned students that if you drop out, skip classes, or leave your program of study without informing your school, your student visa may be revoked and you may lose eligibility for further US visas. The embassy went on to say always adhere to the terms of your visa and maintain your student status to avoid any issues. Meanwhile, India said that it expects the US to consider visa applications of Indian students based on merit.
We have seen reports suggesting US government's updated guidance regarding student and exchange visitor visa applicants. The welfare of Indian students abroad remains of utmost priority to the Government of India. We will continue to follow further developments in this regard. While we note that issuance of visa is a sovereign function, we hope that the application of Indian students will be considered on merit and they will be able to join their academic programs on time.
So, what's driving this change? And how will it affect international students studying in the United States? Students' protests in the United States all over the war in Gaza have intensified and expanded, with the number of encampments now in place at colleges such as Columbia, Yale, and New York University. Police have been called into several campuses to arrest demonstrators. Trump has called these protesters anti-Semitic. In August 2023, 21 Indian students were deported in a single day because of visa-related complications. Reports indicate that students facing deportation may also encounter a 5-year entry ban, making it difficult for them to return to the United States or apply for visas in other countries. Ranjani Srinivasan, a 37-year-old Indian student pursuing a doctoral degree in urban planning at Columbia University, self-deported herself days after her student visa was revoked for participating in pro-Palestine protests. The US government cancelled her visa on 5th March, citing security concerns related to her alleged involvement in activities supportive of the Hamas. US Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, in a post on X, called Srinivasan a terrorist sympathizer, saying that those who advocate terrorism and violence must not stay in the United States. Srinivasan, who's currently in Canada, called it a dystopian nightmare, recalling her ordeal. In 2023-24 academic year, more than 1.1 million foreign students enrolled in US institutions. Indian students led the numbers, followed by China. They make up 54% of the total international enrollments in the US higher education population, roughly 19 million students overall. International students comprise of up to 6% of the total US higher education enrollment. They contributed an estimated $43.8 billion to the United States economy and supported more than 378,000 jobs in 2023 and 24. The US has more than 1,500 universities and colleges that admit international students. These institutions range from public universities to private colleges, offering a wide variety of programs for students from around the world. Recently, the US State Department imposed visa restrictions on certain Indian travel agencies found facilitating illegal immigration to the US. The new US student visa policy announcement coincided with India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri's visit to Washington, D.C. for a meeting with his US counterpart, Christopher Landau. They reaffirmed the close partnership between the United States and India. Misri underscored the importance of fair and reciprocal market access to fostering economic growth and prosperity. The US official emphasized the importance of enhanced cooperation on migration and counter-narcotics. More recently, in May 2025, the Trump government's action against Harvard University put the future of 6,800 international students at risk, with 800 Indian students potentially facing deportation if they cannot transfer to another student and exchange visitor program certified university. The Trump government stopped Harvard from enrolling international students under the Student and Exchange Visitor Program because of alleged non-compliance and demands around diversity, equity, and its handling of pro-Palestine protests. Trump has even threatened to redirect $3 billion in government grants from Harvard to trade schools. The US has come down particularly hard on Chinese students. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has vowed to aggressively revoke visas of Chinese students, a sweeping move that rattled families, university officials, and Chinese authorities. For decades, Chinese students have been a vital part of the US university ecosystem. They are among the top international enrollees. numbering more than 270,000 last year, and generate billions in tuition revenue. But the US questions China's intentions. At the heart of the crackdown is a deep suspicion in Washington, D.C., that Beijing uses academic exchanges to steal US technology and research. Recent decades have seen a steady flow of Chinese students into the United States campuses, especially in STEM education, a pipeline of talent and expertise that's been a boon to US universities and its industry. For the Trump government, that flow now looks like a national security vulnerability. But this is not limited to education itself. It's more about students turning into spies accused of espionage, to which multiple Chinese students have been accused in the past decade. Take the story of John Rogers, for instance. Rogers is a former senior advisor at the US Federal Reserve who was indicted on charges of economic espionage. He allegedly shared sensitive US financial information to Chinese intelligence operatives. The indictment, unsealed in January 2025, outlines a series of interactions beginning in 2013 when Rogers was approached by a man posing as a Chinese graduate student interested in US monetary policy. Announcing the new crackdown on Chinese students, Rubio said that the United States would target students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields. State Department spokesperson Tammy Bruce has made it very clear that the United States will not tolerate exploitation of US universities by the Chinese Communist Party or theft of US research and intellectual property.
The United States, I further can say here, will not tolerate the CCP's exploitation of U.S. universities or theft of U.S. research, intellectual property, or technologies to grow its military power, conduct intelligence collection, or repress voices of opposition. The Trump administration is focused on protecting our nation and our citizens by upholding our national security and public safety through our visa process, obviously very openly and transparently applied by Secretary Marco Rubio.
Even though the United States remains the top destination for students, many are now exploring alternative options in Europe and Australia. Australia's established infrastructure would likely attract international students after the US pause.
At the same time, academics in the US do not feel that comfortable. There are bright scholars graduating from PhD this year, and our department and other universities in Australia will try to take advantage of this year, given that American universities might not be hiring or not hiring at the same scale as they usually do. We can get the best of the best here in the country, so it can benefit Australian academia as a, I guess, part, as a byproduct of these policies.
The European Union and France have announced a slew of incentives to lure scientists to the continent, seeking to profit from US funding cuts and clashes with top US universities. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has earmarked $566 million for this purpose. France's President Emmanuel Macron has announced an additional $113 million to attract researchers to France.
Science is an investment, and we need to offer the right incentives. This is why I can announce that we will put forward a new €500 million package for 2025 to 2027 to make Europe a magnet for researchers. This will help support the best and the brightest researchers and scientists from Europe and around the world.
With the new college semester set to begin in September, time is of the essence. Whether you're a fresher or a doctoral candidate, it's no longer just about your GPA. It's also about your digital past, because when it comes to US visas in 2025, everything counts, including what you did 6 years ago. Bureau Report, DD India.